Hello boys and girls, it is me, your boy King Jiffy Coats, and today we're going to be looking into a brilliant man. But before I get into that, I do want to highlight a few things, one of which is my pronunciations. They are going to be absolutely abhorrent. That's just something I'm not great with, especially when it comes to other languages, and there is a lot in this story, but it's still a story I felt was necessary. 2. I'm not perfect, so if I forget some details, please let me know in the comments. I just found this story so interesting and felt like it needed to be told. In the heart of Sarajevo, in Bosnia-Herzegovina, in 1985, a boy named Milos Bogetic was born in a world already trembling with the echoes of history. His story, like the city itself, would be one of resilience, woven with the threads of triumph and tragedy, of dreams chased across continents and spirit that refused to be dimmed, even by the darkest of shadows, known by many online as unaace. Milos would leave an incredible mark, not just through his words, but through the way he lived, loved, and faced life's unrelenting challenges. Milo's early years was shaped by the tumult of fracturing Yugoslavia. At 6, what began as a family vacation to his father's village in Podgorica, Montenegro, became a permanent exile. A phone call to his grandmother revealed chaos in Sarajevo, shooting in the streets, the prelude to the Bosnian War. The family, with only 2 carry-on bags, could not return to their home, their belongings, their past. All were lost to the conflict that tore the country apart. In Podgorica they began anew, leaning on the kindness of relatives to rebuild. Young Milos, tall and lanky, carried the weight of displacement, but also the spark of ambition. His height, reaching 6'10" by his teens, set him apart, and basketball became his refuge, a language that would transcend borders. By 16, Milos was playing professional basketball in Slovenia, traveling 500 miles between Ljubljana and Podgorica to balance sport and studies. His talent and intellect caught the eye of American scouts, and in 2005, at 19, he crossed the Atlantic to join Penn State University on a basketball scholarship. It was a leap into the unknown, a dream realized against the odd. "This is a dream for me, playing college basketball," he told the university news office, his words brimming with hope. At Penn State, he played for the Nittany Lions, forging bonds with his teammates and coaches that would last a lifetime. After 2 years, he was transferred to Mercyhurst University in Erie, Pennsylvania, where he earned a BA in finance, followed by a master's in organizational leadership and a secondary bachelor's in computer information systems. His mind was agile as his body, driven by a hunger for knowledge and a vision for a future beyond the court. In 2011, during a summer on Cape Cod, Milos met Trish, a Canadian flight attendant. Chance encounter in Provincetown bloomed into a love that would anchor his life. After a year-long distant devotion, they moved to Atlanta in 2012, marrying on New Year's Day 2013. Milos, now a U.S. citizen, and Trish, a Canadian-turned-American, built a life together. He took a job as a senior accountant at Emory University, later becoming a senior lead advisor at Chick-fil-A. Their roots deepened in Atlanta, where they planned for a family, unaware of the storm gathering in the horizon. Because in June 2016, at 29, Milos felt an unusual acid reflux, a sandwich lodged in his throat, a warning he could not ignore. An endoscopy revealed the unthinkable. Esophageal cancer, stage 3, a rare and aggressive disease for someone so young. The median age for such a diagnosis was 67. Milos was decades younger, with an 8% chance of survival. The news, delivered in a curtained hospital room was a systemic shift, yet Milos faced it with a resolve that would define the rest of his journey. At Emory, where he worked, Milos underwent grueling treatments, 6 rounds of chemotherapy, 28 radiation sessions, and Herceptin, his HER2 positive tumor. By November 2016, his esophagus was removed in a high-risk esophagectomy. His stomach was reattached to his throat, the surgery was succeeded, and for 6 months his scans were clean. But in May 2017, a single cancerous lymph node appeared. He endured a brutal regimen of heavier chemotherapy, wearing a fanny pack with an infusion device, losing his hair and battling fevers that landed him in a hospital. Yet his body responded, and by August he was cleared again. For 2 years a remission held. Milos and Trish welcomed a son, and later 6 months pregnant with their second child. Trish stood by as Milos faced emergency brain surgery for a new metastasis, diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, and underwent more chemotherapy, defying the odds to enter remission once more. But in early 2025, a follow-up scan revealed spots throughout his body. The prognosis was grim. The doctors estimated 5 years when he'd already fought for 6. Milos, even the fighter, asked for 2 weeks before restarting treatment. Not to resist, but to chase a passion that had become his solace: golf. Golf had entered Milos's life after chemotherapy weakened his hips, requiring replacement. A friend introduced him to the sport, and on the course he found a rare peace. There was something peaceful about it, he said on a group golf therapy podcast. It was quiet in the middle of the city, and no pressure. It was 4 hours of not thinking about anything. Breaking 100 for the first time, he laughed at his own audacity to play a storied courses like Pinehurst. With his final 2 weeks of freedom, Milos played as much golf as he could, a defiant act of joy in the face of mortality. A GoFundMe campaign supported by his online community aimed to send him to St. Andrews, a testament to the love and admiration he inspired. Milos' creativity found its truest expression in his writing, particularly under the pseudonym inaace on Reddit's NoSleep community. His famous work, The Story of Her Holding an Orange, published in 2013, captivated readers with its chilling narrative of a mysterious woman who stalked across Europe and reappeared years later in America. The story, a blend of psychological horror and an unsettling ambiguity, won the NoSleep writing contest in October 2012 and was featured on the NoSleep podcast, where its haunting cadence reached thousands. Its layered storytelling, a part memoir, part fiction, left readers dissecting every detail, scouring Milos' comments for clues to its truth. Was the woman real, or was it a metaphor for his fears? Milos never fully clarified, letting the mystery linger like shadows. Beyond Her Holding an Orange, Milos crafted other tales that showcased his knack for blending the personal with the uncanny. His stories often drew from his own experiences, displacement, resilience, and the search for meaning, infusing them with raw authenticity that resonated deep. On Reddit, he engaged with readers, responding to their theories with wit and warmth, building a community that hung on his words. His writing was not just an escape, but a way to process his journey. From the war-torn streets of Sarajevo to sterile, uncanny hospital rooms. Writing let me take control of the chaos. He once shared in a comment, a glimpse into how his craft became a lifeline. Milos' online presence extended beyond horror. He posted about his cancer battle, his love for golf, his reflections on life, each post a testament to his courage and humor. His words inspired thousands, from strangers on Reddit to friends in the golf community who rallied behind him. His final post, written in early 2025, spoke of gratitude and hope, urging others to find something that makes you forget the clock. His writing, whether fiction or truth, was a gift, a way to connect, to heal, and to leave a piece of himself with the world. In August 2025, Milos passed away at home in Atlanta, surrounded by his wife and 2 young children. Around 9 p.m., the news shared on platforms like Reddit and FO Golf rippled through communities that had come to know him as a beacon of courage. Posts on sites like NoSleep aaace said, "It is with our deepest sympathies that we announce the death of OG NoSleeper inaace Milos, author of popular stories such as I Am Grown, Logical Man, Crying Tears of Horror Right Now, or the story of her holding an orange, and I was a part of a god in England." As some of you may remember, inaace announced his battle with cancer several years ago, a battle long and hard, but ultimately succumbed to the disease at night. We would like to send our love and prayers to his family, friends, and ones who loved him. On top of that, there was a dedication posted on the r/golf subreddit. I've dreaded this day for such a long time, and unfortunately it is finally here. I regret to inform you all that our boy Milos passed away last night at 9 p.m., asleep at home with his family. I'm so glad that through this community so many of you were able to get to know him and be inspired by his fight. Please know that your encouragement and acts of kindness over the past couple of years meant the world to him, and I'm confident without them, he wouldn't have been able to fight as long as he did. Milos was always a bit of a cynic, and I don't think he had much faith in humans as a species. Our mutual disdain for other people was actually something we bonded over quite often. Looking at you, Bluetooth speaker guys, imagine his shock when all of you rallied behind him, sent words of encouragement, gifted him clubs and gear, invited him for rounds of golf, hosted him at tournaments, and sent him on some of the most amazing golf trips to play bucket list courses. It was an amazing experience that you all gave him, and I will be eternally grateful to this community for the love and support you showed him during his final years and months. While those are certainly all cherished memories, the greatest gift you all gave to him was knowing there was still plenty of good and decent people left in the world, so he didn't need to worry as much about leaving his family behind. That was something that weighed on him heavily, and your outpouring of love really gave him a sense of peace while he was going through the fight. I would give anything to be able to play with him just one more time, so please don't ever take for granted any opportunity you have to go out on the course with other people you love. Also, and most importantly, remember, next time you pure it into the green from 200 yards out and roll up to find the green is clear, as you slowly walk up to the flag and peek over the edge to find the cup end empty. Milos is staring down at you with a smug look on his face, shaking his head. Come on, bro. You know you're not that guy. Milos' wife Trish wanted me to let you all know that this community was truly his biggest support system. You all brought him joy during his hardest times, and for that she is forever grateful. If any of you feel like memorializing our boy, feel free to write unsettling AACE on your ball next time you tee off. But understand that this will likely increase your chances of topping it 20 yards or shanking it straight into the woods, 2 of his favorite shots. I love you all, and thank you all once more from the bottom of my heart. To do what you did for this dying man is truly breathtaking, and I am bawling right now thinking about what amazing human beings you all are. One post also read that Milos had aspired to record a video series for his children, sharing life's wisdom and to ensure his family's future. His choice was to put it clear. Do you want to keep sulking, or do you want to seize the time you have? He chose joy, love, connection, leaving a legacy that echoed far beyond fairways and the pages he wrote. Milos' life was a testament to human spirit, the human spirit's capacity to endure, to create and to find beauty in the fleeting moments. From the war-torn streets of Severo to quiet greens of Pinehurst, he lived with a heart wide open, a story that will linger in the hearts of those who knew him, in person or through the words of unsettling. I felt like this story was too interesting not to be told. I sat here for days thinking, how do I tell this in some sort of reverie that felt good enough to present the man, and then I realized it was just better to make the video. I hope I did it a decent amount of justice, because I truly feel like this guy was a beacon in so many different communities on the online space and in the world. From his basketball to his golf to his horror stories, he truly was a shining light. And the fact that I hadn't heard this story before meant that even if I made some mistakes and my story wasn't perfect, or even good enough I think that he deserved, because I'm not the best at what I do, it just needed to be told. And with me sitting out here knowing that I read these type of stories every week through my other channel, Haunted Router, I felt like I couldn't even approach reading any of his stories without telling his story first, without letting the people of the world know how incredible this man who kept fighting even though the odds were piled against him was. And I want you all to know that I appreciate you all, and thank you so much for coming by and watching my video. And make sure to like and subscribe if you want. If not, the most important thing at the end of the day is that we share in our love of horror and golf and all things, and we never stop fighting. Thank you all so much, and I'll catch you on the next one.